ladies and gentlemen. My name is TotalBiscuit of the WoW podcast. Blue, please, on cynicalbrit.com. Oh, Lord, I forgot to turn my cursor off. Never mind. Do I really want to do any more of this nonsense? Not really. Am I going to do it anyway for the purposes of your entertainment and to save you the hassle? Yeah, I guess so. It's part 3 of the Cataclysm Prequests. Is it getting good yet? Not really. So first thing is first. This quest that I like to call the TSA quest, the Transportation Security Organization of Azeroth. Yeah. You've got to go outside, and there are a crowd of people. And they want to get into the city, but they will not be allowed to do so. We have to go check their papers. We have to go illegally search them. By the proclamation of Hellscream himself, hero of Northrend, champion of the people, we will search your pockets, and possibly other places if we're feeling frisky.
Blood and thunder.
So, I don't really think any of these guys actually have ID. Really. Do you think they run around with ID and passports? No, I'm thinking not. The only thing this has succeeded in doing is making dueling in this area incredibly inconvenient, because there's a lot of different NPCs all over the place. You've got to go further back now. But yeah, they do just keep walking in and they get detained at the gate, which I suppose is kind of cool, because we never see anyone traveling around, do we? That's one of the weird things about Azeroth. The citizens never do anything. They just stand there. You never see them traveling from place to place. I mean, for instance, what is the point of Razor Hill? I've never seen anything come from Razor Hill to Orgrimmar at any point. No NPCs at all. For all of the bashing that I do on Oblivion, that is one of the things it kind of does right. It does at least feel like something's going on. Unless, of course, you sleep for 6 hours and then you see the entire contents of the town suddenly leave through a single door from one building to go to their respective homes because the AI bugs out. Radiant AI! Oh, yes. Okay, so now I've done some illegal searching and the violation of various rights. We can head on back and get the next part of the quest. There are 2 quests, similar to part 1. One of them consists of doing basically nothing. You go to Outland, you speak to Thrall. There's a bit of text which does not appear for some reason. I don't know why it's going on. It seems to just be bugging out for me. I sat around for a few minutes and nothing happened. So I'm going to paste you the text. Courtesy of BB from MMO Champion, that's where the image came from, so all credit to him. In the meantime, we have to arrest some infiltrators. Now, you know, in previous videos I've said that this is the worst cult, and indeed the worst set of investigators ever. Well, this continues to prove that that is the case. So, they've sent a bunch of infiltrators into Orgrimmar to incant some kind of secret evil Twilight rituals. The thing is, they're not very good infiltrators. For one, the infiltrators are level 8, so they can be seen from miles away, which would be easy enough. But consider this for a second. If you're an infiltrator, one of the last things on your mind, perhaps, would be lighting a bunch of culty candles that are really, really easy to spot. And another priority, perhaps, would be not to cast a bunch of spells that give you this massive blue glowing aura and a frost symbol above your head. And then perhaps, thirdly, the one thing you really, really want to avoid doing is, of course, making a bunch of noise. You hear that in the background? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Yeah. They pulse. They make this constant magic pulsing noise. So they're really, really terrible infiltrators. As to why the guards couldn't have simply got them themselves, I really, really don't know. But hey, you've got a bunch of bored people waiting for Cataclysm, so I suppose we can employ them. I bet that's what went through their minds when you think about it. It's like, you know what, these guys are probably really, really bored of killing the Lich King in Icecrown, so why don't we employ them to do some menial, crappy tasks? That'll do, won't it? And whether or not that was going through the minds of Blizzard or the actual guards of Orgrimmar, I couldn't really tell you. They are perhaps one and the same, fourth wall and all that. Okay, so we're spoken to the detained cultist, and the prophecy is coming true, and everybody's going to die, blah, 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 so on and so forth, yes. And we need to go find some cultists to arrest. They can be basically anywhere, so let's speed this up a little bit. The telltale signs of finding a cultist are: they will have this purple aura around them. They will make a crap ton of noise. They will set up a bunch of candles. In this case, this guy must have just spawned because he hasn't done it yet. But I will show you. Don't worry. I will show you just how easy it is to find these damn things. Just listen. Just engage your ears. These are usually located on the side of your head, just FYI. I know some of you aren't really used to actually using them, and you might find that insulting, but it won't matter because you won't have heard what I said anyway. You can't arrest these guys for some reason. These guys apparently are doing things that are entirely legal, but the guys crouching in the corner with the candles and the occult crap, oh no, can't have that. That is evil, unreasonable. Are they hiding in the mining hut? The answer is no, they aren't. Are they hiding behind the large barrel of explosives? You know, if you wanted to do a lot of damage to Orgrimmar, just screw the summoning of elementals. That thing of explosives has been lying there for 6 frickin' years. Someone could just blow it up. It's incredibly dangerous. You might hear the pulsing in the background, or you may not. It depends just how good your speakers are. If they're crap, then the chances are you can't hear anything other than my dulcet tones, and perhaps the water elemental. If you have good headphones and good speakers, when we get quite close to this, you will see that. See the candle? Frickin' candle! I am a sneaky infiltrator. Now I shall have this really evil purple and twilight green candle. They won't suspect a thing, and if I'm approached by the guards, I'll merely say that I was hired to do some interior decorating. Oh yeah, and there's blue freaking glowing halo right there. Look at that. Yes, what's that? Asks the guard. Oh, speak up, answer the question. It's new fashion design, yes, for our fall Orgrimmar collection. Very stylish, dearie. And he lets him go on his merry way, because you know what? The guards are stupid and very easily beguiled by high fashion. Are there any in here with all of the battle masters? I would certainly hope not. Ha! The finest warriors Orgrimmar's ever assembled, and there's this level 7 Twilight cultist hiding in the freaking corner that they haven't noticed. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I really wouldn't. Oh, look, it's another one. Yes. And this one, for some reason, makes a noise like an ice block, Lord knows. And I think these guys get their own wolves. Would you trust evil Twilight cultists with wolves that could probably rip your jugular out as soon as look at you? Apparently you would. Oh, they're our wolves. Yes, I was carrying them in my pocket, and perhaps one in my mohawk. It is large enough, don't get me wrong. But trust me, you don't want to keep wolves in your hair. It gets a little bit distressing after a while, and I tell you this. It takes a long time to clean out the smell. We've got a little procession going on here. It's so ridiculous. Oh, dear. Here you go. Hand them all in.
What do you
Everyone in the world hands them in at the same time. Right. You gotta go hand that back in at the Bloodguard Tarek, who is in the middle of the city. And I wish I had a flying mount. Hello, Tarek. Bestow upon me another pointless waste of time. This one's actually kind of neat, sort of, but it just shows just how incredibly dumb the cult actually is. We shall infiltrate the cult and steal their most sacred evil ritual. How shall we do it? Well, we can wear this robe. Ignore the fact that the rest of what I'm wearing is like tier 10 and stuff like that. No, it's okay, I'm wearing the robe. But what's that other gear? And why are you riding around with that bear with the Murky and the BlizzCon sign? It's okay, I'm a cultist, honest. I'm wearing the robe. Yes, their security is incredibly lax. You know what would be better? If they just gave all of these quests to the guys in the Undercity, because you know exactly what would be happening there. Every quest would be quite simple. Cultists, use the plague! Pretty much it. It's all you need to do. And why is this place even still here? We've figured out that they're trying to destroy Orgrimmar, and we're still letting them do it. We're not accosting them in any way, shape, or form. The evil Twilight altar is right there with a big sign that says, "We are trying to bring about the end of all things." And yet, for some inexplicable reason, they don't do anything about it. Indeed, we've got a massive queue of freaking citizens about 30 meters away from the whole place, and they don't care. They just don't want to save Orgrimmar at all. Is it like instances where everyone's got a sight range of about 20 yards? Is that it? I mean, are they all really short-sighted? I'll tell you what, actually, I've not seen a single Specsavers in the entirety of Azeroth, so maybe, just maybe, that will explain it. Anyway, so we've learned their amazing sacred ritual by reading the book, which says on it, amazing sacred ritual, and we're going to be going into Orgrimmar to sabotage everything. So they've told us to help them complete the rituals to summon the evil elementals inside of Orgrimmar, and then burn it to the ground, which actually would be kind of neat because it's getting a little bit old anyway. Regardless, what we're going to do is disrupt the rituals. How are we going to disrupt the rituals? Well, you're about to find out, because this is actually kind of funny. Now, as much as I'd like to use the plague, it turns out that what we have to do is mispronounce the ritual. Shouldn't be too hard. Ancients of flower and earth, I have peppered the way for you. Come forth and glaze, Orgrimmar. Oh, yes. We are betrayed. Indeed, betrayed by this delicious cake. And there are 2 more of these, by the way. See, they're reusing that bloody thing. I knew it was too nice for them not to use in everything. You see the little swirly thing down there? Oh, yes. did anyone order the creme brulee with a side order of ruined ritual? Well, here you go. It's puntastic. What in Cho'Gall's name are you doing? Baking is what I'm doing, you fools. They somehow die from just how delicious it is. Death by chocolate. Okay, and the last one. Now I shall watch these Twilight cultists pummeled to dust, which should be any moment now. Yes, it is delicious. Well, it is. This is no recipe, fool. Why, yes, it is. A recipe for awesome. Okay, I admit that some tiny little part of me found that fairly enjoyable. It's just a shame it didn't come up with a different quote every time. That would have been neat, you know. It was funny the first time, and then you do it again and again. I like that they've got different quotes every time from the Twilight guys, but it would be nice to get one of my own. Oh god, I don't have any bloody teleport runes. It shows you how long I've been off this character. It's okay, I'll use a portal. We're going to Shattrath, folks. Yes, we are. You know, it's nice to go to Shattrath and not lag horribly, because of course nobody goes there anymore. So, I remember the first time that Shattrath was on the live servers when TBC first came on. It was kind of like Dalaran, it just wasn't quite as laggy, but it was pretty close. Initially, there were massive performance issues with the way that this area was actually designed. Lord knows why, but yeah, it was kind of messy. I like it, though. I still like Shattrath an awful lot more than Dalaran. Something about the design of it, it's very unique. Actually, just Outland in general is freaking beautiful, isn't it? It certainly had its problems. The questing wasn't exactly as good as Wrath by any stretch of the imagination, and some of the areas were way too large and badly designed, especially since you couldn't actually fly until you hit the level cap of 70. But it's still got some of the best-looking areas in the entire game by a very significant margin. Shattrath is definitely one of those. Big fan of it. Look at that. It's great, isn't it? Really, really awesome design for Shattrath. And then, of course, you've got these amazing sky domes. There are so many of them. I remember the sky dome in the Hellfire Peninsula and just being absolutely gobsmacked by how great it was. Helps it can go back here and fly with the benefit of hindsight. And, of course, you've got the upgraded water textures as well, just to make matters even better. Nagrand, big fan of that too. Like the floating islands, reminding me a lot of, well, various things involving floating islands. Let me think. Populous. I remember the box art for that. That had floating islands on it, didn't it? Floating islands seem to be a quite popular theme amongst video games, but hey, there you go. It's good stuff. You know, this area actually reminds me a little bit of Avatar as well. Alright, we're heading over to the Throne of Elements, which is where Thrall is. You know, speak to him, it will trigger a bunch of text. No voice acting, no cutscene or anything like that, so don't get too excited. The fact of the matter is it didn't really trigger when I went there either, so I decided just to put the text in at the end of this, and then you can read it for yourself. Like I say, I took the screenshot from MMO Champion from BB, so full credit goes to him for that, and saving people an awful lot of time. It's still a pretty area, especially with the new water. Big fan of it. It's good stuff. And down we go. Now, Thrall is here with the other orc that you see an awful lot of in Cataclysm.
What is it?
Now, I have to assume that this is put here on purpose to sort of make you park your character here for the next stage of the Cataclysm thing. So, I will happily do that since I'm not actually playing right now. It should trigger a bunch of text. It's not doing that. I'm going to put that on for you right now so that you can have a read. Ladies and gentlemen, my name has been TotalBiscuit. This has been part 3 of the pre-Cataclysm quests. Still not worth resubbing for, let's be totally honest. Let's hope for some good stuff in part 4. I'll see you next time.